It's 2006. We're spending about $300,000 in local marketing dollars for our boat dealership in Florence, Kentucky. We are the number 3 fishing boat dealership in the United States, and we are the number 1 G3 fishing boat dealer. And a guy walks into my store that lives across the street and says, I didn't know you guys were here.
My goal is to help restaurant owners finally get to where they want to go. But more than that, my goal is to find entrepreneurs within that segment that actually know what it means to hustle. That's my goal. Come on the journey with me.
Restaurant Marketing Secrets, episode 268. I'm your host, Matt Platt, and we're brought to you by America's Best Restaurants. America's Best Restaurants is on a path to help you, independent restaurant owners, find more frequent customers. Because infrequent customers don't pay the damn bills. And unfortunately, there's people around the corner from you that could be frequent, but don't know you exist. Let's discuss. Today, I'm reviewing a needs analysis that Shaheen, one of our senior marketing specialists, had with a restaurant yesterday. We're watching it, going over some of the stuff he did, giving him some feedback. And by the way, I didn't give him much feedback. The guy's 40 years as a restaurant owner, retired last year, but came on board with ABR, was also a client for 7 years. And he absolutely crushed the conversation with this restaurant because he's one of you. He knows this stuff. But there was something this young lady said in the video that caught my attention for this podcast and had me telling Shaheen a story today. And by the way, welcome to the team, Shaheen. So she said she's consistently amazed that every week somebody walks in the restaurant. By the way, they've been there since 2019, so we're going on 4 years. But she's consistently amazed that every week somebody walks in the restaurant and says, I didn't know you guys were here. So I want to tell you a story. We were a boat dealership. We were the 3rd largest fishing boat dealership in the country for a few years running. We were Yamaha Marine's top 5 or top 10 dealer out of 2,500 for many years. We sold Triton, Skeeter, G3, Bennington, Azor, what else do we have? Centurion, Caravel. But we were Triton, Skeeter, and G3 were our brands. We sold a lot of fishing boats. Well, in the early 2000s, I think 2004, 5, 6, somewhere in that neighborhood, G3 came out with a what would you call this? A unicorn. A 20-foot aluminum bass boat. And aluminum boats were catching fire because they didn't need the giant engine on them. Like a 20-foot bass boat back then, I don't know now because I've been out of the business, needed a 225 to 250 horsepower motor, and you're looking at massive money. A 200 could run a 20-foot aluminum, so you're looking at price differences. Even a 150 could run it. So G3 thought, we're going to build a aluminum fishing boat to compete with the big bass boats that these people are running so that we can have maybe a $30,000 boat out there that's an alternative to the $60,000 fiberglass. And I might be off on the numbers a little. And there's some of you people out there are fishermen, so don't hold me to it. So long story short, we order the HP 200. Now, to put it in perspective, we are on Kentucky 18 in Florence, Kentucky. We have a 7-acre location. It's actually, if you Google it, it's now Kona Ice's headquarters. Tony Lamb, who started Kona Ice, was in the building behind us. When we got out of the business, a year later, he bought the building, and Kona Ice is rocketed to the top of the world now with these trucks they got out everywhere. And it's a great product. But we had this HP 200 in our store. We're a giant lot with 700 units at any time on our lot. Service, sales, trade-ins, all that stuff. If you drive down 18 and look to your right, it is impossible at that time to not see our entry of our building. Giant wood stained arch, Plaps for Outdoors, the Bass Boat logo, boats everywhere. So we couldn't sell this HP 200. Couldn't give it away. Had it for like a year and a half, and we had at this point had already owned it because in the boat world, you finance your inventory. Kind of like you have in your restaurant world, you got your food inventory from Cisco every week. Well, we had a boat inventory we bought twice a year. And you would get to some points where if a boat had a birthday, meaning it was on your lot for 12 months, and you had $30,000 in a banknote with it, the bank said, give me my 30 grand within the next 6 months. So we typically, every year and a half, we would have boats in our lot that were paid in full, which was painful because I'm talking, we had sometimes $2 to $3 million in cash sitting in these damn boats. We wanted to sell this HP 200 bad. One day, this guy pulls up in front of our dealership, and I had never seen another HP 200, by the way, because apparently we were one of the only ones dumb enough to buy it. It was way ahead of its curve. Not many dealers bought it. We did. We were a sucker for what the dealers were putting on you. This guy pulls up in front of our store one day, and he's got this giant HP 200. I'm like, holy shit, that's an HP 200. I walk out. I'm like, dude, where'd you get this? Oh, R&W Marine down in E-Town. This was just south of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Where do you live? I live across the street. What do you mean across the street? It's like Boone Air Estates across the street. Like literally across the flipping street. Oh, would you just move there? No, I've lived here forever. I see you guys all the time. He's like, I didn't know you guys were a boat dealer. Well, what did you think we were? Like, well, I just thought it was like a boat storage lot or some shit. And I'm like, so you didn't know we existed? Like, no, I had no clue. And I had been researching, looking for an HP 200 for 6 months. I'm like, dude, I've been trying to sell one for a year and a half. Well, I didn't come across you guys. And I was just scratching my head. He kept it here. He got service, went on his way. And I'm looking at my dad, and I'm like, Dad, we're on the G3 website. We're across the street from the guy's place. We sponsor every fishing and hunting cable show available. We're the #1 search engine optimized boat dealership in the country. We're on radio. We're on TV. We have everything you could possibly imagine. Yellow wrapped Hummers. How in the hell did this guy not know about us?
We interrupt this programming for a brief announcement from our sponsor.
Hey, it's Matt. Okay, there's no sponsor here. Just us. We don't have advertising in our podcast. It's just us dropping value to help you build the ultimate marketing plan for your restaurant. But I want you to take advantage of something. We have our America's Best Restaurants University. Yes, it's not actually a university. It's an online training. But it is a great place for you to learn how to market your restaurant at a high level and join our community online and in our Facebook group. Go to abru.online/free. abru.online/free. Join the ABR University and let us help you get to the next level. Now back to the show.
Well, he didn't know about us. And I'm telling you this because you may think everybody in your area knows about your restaurant. They don't. And that is the importance of advertising and marketing. Even a place like ours back then that was crazy ass marketed to an extreme. I was an early adopter in digital media. If you want to see my story, go to maplap.com. There's a video that talks about how I got into the internet marketing in 1999 and was doing what most of you are now doing on Facebook way long time ago. Somehow this guy still didn't know about us. We had a restaurant we visited recently with the America's Best Restaurants called Palms. And the lady on camera, even on the local news when they interviewed her, said when they reached out and I agreed to have them come film my story and market for a couple months for us to get our story out, I assumed everybody knew us. Next thing I know, people are flocking in here every day and business is booming from people who had no clue we existed. Now, if you're a restaurant in a town like maybe Maysville, Kentucky, where there's 5,000 to 10,000 people and 5 restaurants, yeah, everybody probably does know you. But they still need to be reminded. And if you're a restaurant that's in the suburbs or in a community where people have to drive by hundreds of other restaurants, there's a lot of distraction. None of us are confused that in 2023, the attention of your customers is on their phone. In fact, the average person checks their phone 11 times. They are checking it mainly for 3 places: Facebook, Instagram, and email. The 4th is internet browser. YouTube is also around there. If you're not relevant on those platforms and consistently visible for things outside of your food, if you're not everywhere, there's a chance you're going to get missed because you cannot depend on people driving by your store like I found out when this guy who lived across the damn street who could have bought the boat I couldn't give away. I think it took us another year after that to sell it. I think we lost 10 grand if I remember correctly. He drove by us every day. We were the most marketed fishing boat dealership that existed, and still we fell on deaf ears. So my friends, I'm telling you all of this because I hope you take away from this that even when you take massive action, sometimes people still don't see you, which is why it's even more important to keep taking massive action. We know your customers are opening their phone 11 times every hour. Is there a valid reason they should be looking at your emails? Do your text messages resonate? Or are you just spamming the shit out of people? But my ask out of this whole podcast is just build a marketing plan that puts you as many places as often as possible in a relevant manner. Have a great day, my friends. So as you know, I don't charge for my content. We don't have sponsors. We don't have product placement in here. But what I want your help with is spreading the word. If you're finding value here, do me a favor, share this on your social media. Share an episode with something that made sense to you, that's relevant to your restaurant, that you got value from, and tag Matt Plapp and America's Best Restaurants. Also, go to America's Best Restaurants on Facebook and on Google and leave us a review. Let us know the impact we've had on your restaurant with our roadshow, with our marketing help, or with our podcast. And last but not least, if you want to take the next step and help me out a lot, and help us out a lot, text me a testimonial, 859-743-2408. That's my cell. A selfie video would be awesome about the impact this content or our company is having on your independent restaurant. But worst case scenario, just a few kind words. The way we can help lift this industry up is to help get content like this to more independent restaurant owners, and you are the key to spreading the word. I appreciate your support. Have an amazing day.